Bell's V-280 Valor tiltrotor aircraft, its proposal for the U.S. Army's Future Long-Range Assault Aircraft (FLRAA) program late last year, completed a number of autonomous flight tests during 2 sorties. The V-280 completed 2 sorties and several autonomous maneuvers under its control, including an automatic vertical takeoff last December, during trials marking the 2nd anniversary of its first flight. The 2 flights lasted nearly 2 hours and saw the aircraft reach over 180 knots in what the company calls cruise mode, and marked an important step in the further development of its autonomous capabilities ahead. During the flights, safety pilots were on board and on hand to monitor the V-280's performance while under its own control, with each stage of autonomous testing being conducted separately to evaluate the aircraft's ability to conduct the maneuvers. While under autonomous control, the aircraft took off and hovered under its own direction, executed a departure climb, transitioned to cruising mode, navigated to a waypoint, converted back to vertical takeoff landing (VTOL) mode, made an automatic approach to a designated hover point, and undertook an autonomous vertical landing. FLRAA, operating under the mast of the Future Vertical Lift (FTV) program, aims to deliver the U.S. Army a replacement for the Sikorsky U-60 Blackhawk and is envisaged to work alongside the rotorcraft developed under the U.S.'s Future Attack Reconnaissance Aircraft (FARA) program to develop a new scout attack helicopter. The U.S. requires both systems to be capable of flying and undertaking some operations autonomously, and to operate with the support of drones to secure areas and deliver personnel. Bell told Army Technology that the autonomous profiles has previously been tested in a simulator to assess the software and flight controls before flying the upgraded rotorcraft with enhanced flight control software capable of undertaking more advanced autopilot capabilities. The company said that the lessons being learned while developing autonomous capabilities are being applied to many systems in development, including its bid for the FARA program, the Bell 360 Invictus. The company told Army Technology that its autonomous efforts had potential uses for the Autonomous Pod Transport (APT), the V-247 Vigilant, and the Nexus VTOL air taxi. Bell has yet to say if and when it plans to do this. Building on the tests, Bell said that the success would help the U.S. Army inform the future requirements of the FLRAA program and help define the roadmap for future test flights to further develop the aircraft's capabilities. Commenting on prior tests of the aircraft, Bell Vice President of Advanced Vertical Lift Systems Keith Flail said, "The V-280 and flight test program team's performances have gone above and beyond expectation. Our team of defense aerospace technology and manufacturing experts demonstrated the ability to deliver a high-performance aircraft on a schedule that will revolutionize U.S. military vertical lift capability. We are very proud of this track record and look forward to competing for the U.S. Army FLRAA program." Flail added, "Bell is committed to our customers. Our talented employees are innovators who have reimagined how vertical lift can help modernize the Army with the V-280 Valor. We are proud of what the V-280 and Team Valor have achieved in 6 short years and look forward to building on our success to bring next-generation capability to the warfighter in the coming years." The final FLRAA aircraft is expected to enter service in 2030 as the Blackhawk nears the end of its expected 50-year service life. Its competitor in the program is the Sikorsky, Boeing SB-1 Defiant. Unlike Bell's entrant, the Boeing-Sikorsky joint bid is a single-rotor coaxial helicopter. Both concepts were developed under the Joint Multi-Role Technology Demonstrator (JMRTD) phase of the contract. The U.S. Army plans to award contracts for designs for the FLRAA in late 2021. The Sikorsky Boeing SB-1 Defiant flew 205 knots (380 km per hour) in a flight test on the 9th of June. The compound coaxial helicopter passed 200 knots for the first time while flying at Sikorsky's West Palm Beach Development Flight Test Center in Florida, Boeing and Sikorsky announced on the 16th of June. Within a few months, the Sikorsky-Boeing team is pushing for the helicopter to top 250 knots, above the U.S. Army's 230 knots cruise speed requirement for the Future Long-Range Assault Aircraft (FLRAA) program. "We went to 205 knots with less than 50% of the installed propeller power," says Bill Fell, a lead test pilot for the SB-1. "So, expect a lot more in the future because we have a lot more power to apply to this machine." The Sikorsky-Boeing team has logged 18h of flight time on the SB-1, as well as 20h on ground test runs on the helicopter, and 113h on a separate powertrain system testbed (PSTB). The SB-1 is competing against Bell's V-280 Valor tiltrotor in the U.S. Army's FLRAA program. That aircraft has reached a top speed of 300 knots. So far, most flight tests have been focused on pushing the top speed envelope, as that is likely to be more challenging than proving the rotorcraft's maneuverability, the companies say. In a powered wind tunnel test, the SB-1 has demonstrated the ability to fly at 250 knots, so the team believes topping that speed is achievable. Flight test speeds will likely be increased by increments of 20 knots per test, depending on the results of testing on the PSTB. Speed is crucial to the U.S. Army's vision of a Sikorsky U.S.60 Black Hawk replacement that can carry troops into battle so quickly that enemy air defenses will not be able to react. For us, the kind of speed that matters is minimizing your exposure in that integrated air defense system threat, says Randy Rott, Boeing's Director of Global Sales and Marketing for U.S. Army Future Vertical Lift Programs. By flying below or quickly past the enemy radar, the SB-1 can minimize the opportunity for the rotorcraft to be detected, acquired, tracked, and fired upon, he says. So you're breaking that kill chain with a combination of speed and that maneuverability, says Rott. To fly low and fast, Sikorsky and Boeing are working on a separate U.S. Army program called Advanced Flight Controls that will automate some of the aircraft handlings, for example, to facilitate terrain avoidance or nap of the Earth flight. Those flight control laws are being developed and tested in a laboratory setting. We've developed enough fly-by-wire aircraft to believe there's no reason we can't just easily merge the two and test it out in flight tests, says Fell. As part of the ongoing, competitive demonstration and risk reduction phase of FLRAA, the Sikorsky-Boeing team is conducting trade studies with the U.S. Army to determine how adding or removing different features would impact the SB-1's speed, range, and payload. The aircraft is undergoing a design review currently with the service. Bell 360 Invictus is a new attack and reconnaissance helicopter being developed by Bell Textron to deliver improved lethality, survivability, and extended range for Army aviation. The advanced helicopter is being offered for the U.S. Army's Future Attack Reconnaissance Aircraft (FARA) program, which mainly aims to replace the Army's AH-65 Apache and OH-58D Kiowa Warrior helicopters. The rotorcraft will offer security and situational awareness on the battlefield upon completion of its government flight test evaluation in 2023. It will serve as an affordable, lethal, and sustainable solution while delivering next-generation performance. Bell was contracted under Other Transaction Authority for the Prototype (OTAP) agreement to design a vertical lift aircraft with advanced performance capabilities to face asymmetric threats in multi-domain operations, in April 2019. In September 2019, Bell Textron entered a partnership agreement with Collins Aerospace Systems for avionics hardware and software incorporating cyber-hardened and enhanced digital solutions. Collins Aerospace will also offer model-based systems engineering (MBSE) tools and processes to integrate mission avionics into the Bell 360 Invictus aircraft. The attack and reconnaissance helicopter was unveiled at the Association of the United States Army (ASA) National Conference held in Washington, D.C. in October 2019. In March 2020, Bell Textron was selected to continue its work on the U.S. Army's FARA program, after almost a 12-month design and risk reduction work. Bell Textron preferred Triumph Systems and support for the supply of hydraulic components for the Bell 360 Invictus aircraft in May 2020. The rotorcraft's design will be based on Bell 525 Relentless aircraft, which will feature hydraulic pump and reservoir assemblies. The robust, articulated rotor, lift-sharing wing, and optimized tail rotor ensure effective attack and reconnaissance operations in both urban and rural areas. The helicopter will accommodate a pilot and a gunner.